Welcome to Voice After 50, the podcast where women in their 50s and beyond reclaim their voice, their energy, and their emotional well-being. I'm Beverley. Today we're talking about something many of us didn't have language for earlier in life, but recognise instantly now. We're talking about drama friends, when every conversation is a crisis. You probably already know who I mean, and if a name or face just popped into your mind, yeah, me too. You're definitely not alone. So, what is a drama friend? Well, a drama friend is not someone who occasionally goes through a hard time and shares it with you. That's life and that's friendship. A drama friend is someone whose entire relationship with you revolves around crisis. Every conversation starts with, "You won't believe what they did to me. I've been going through such a hard time. No one tries to understand where I'm coming from. If they really cared, they wouldn't have. Things are so hard right now," and so on and so on. They are always the victim. Someone else is always the villain, and they're misunderstood, mistreated, overlooked, or emotionally wounded. Again. You listen, you empathise, you offer perspective and reasoning. And they say, "Yeah, but..." You suggest a boundary. "Yeah, but I can't do that." You suggest a different interpretation. "Yeah, but you don't understand how awful they are." You suggest therapy. "Yeah, but therapists don't really help." And round you go. The same story, different day. Well, here's the thing. When we're younger, we often equate intensity with connection. And there is research and studies that bear this out. Research has shown that when we're younger, our brains are basically wired to feel things really strongly. The part of the brain that reacts to excitement, reward, and emotion, the "this feels amazing" system, is very active during adolescence and early adulthood. It runs a lot on dopamine, the same chemical involved in pleasure and motivation. But the part of the brain that helps us slow down, think long-term, and regulate emotions, the "let's calm down and think this through" system, is still under construction. So what happens? Big emotions hit harder, crushes feel overwhelming, friendship conflicts feel devastating, jealousy feels urgent, drama feels intense and consuming. Because the emotional system is louder than the regulation system. Intensity doesn't just feel intense, it feels meaningful. It's easy to interpret the surge of emotion as, "this must be important, this must be deep, this must be real." In other words, when something feels huge, it can feel like proof that it matters. So it's not that young people are dramatic for no reason. Their brains are genuinely primed to experience intensity more vividly. As we get older, the regulatory part of the brain catches up. We're still capable of deep feelings, of course we are. They just don't automatically register as overwhelming or all-defining or all-consuming. And we become better at separating strong feelings from actual connection or compatibility. Research shows that as we get older, into our 50s and beyond, most of us actually get better at handling our emotions. We're more likely to pause before reacting, to reframe things, and to be intentional about who we spend time with. In other words, we don't get swept up in every emotional wave the way we might have when we were younger. Life experience plays a role in that. By midlife, many people have raised families, built careers, cared for aging parents, navigated loss, heartbreak, illness, and reinvention. All of that tends to sharpen our awareness of what we can and can't carry emotionally. We become more protective of our energy, more aware of our emotional bandwidth. But here's the important nuance. Even though older adults are generally better at regulating emotions, stressful social interactions still affect them. Research shows that ongoing interpersonal tension, conflict, chronic negativity, drama can still take a real toll on well-being. In some cases, it impacts older adults even more strongly because they value emotional stability so highly. That helps explain why drama friends can feel especially draining later in life. It's not just a personality preference, it's a nervous system response to repeated stress. You might notice that after spending time with someone who thrives on conflict or drama or chaos, that you feel heavy physically and emotionally, irritable or restless, unusually exhausted, or oddly guilty for wanting distance. That isn't you being unkind, it's your system registering strain. By this stage of life, many people aren't interested in relationships that consume more than they contribute. We tend to gravitate towards connections that feel steady, mutual, and nourishing, and move away from those that consistently deplete us. It's less about becoming intolerant and more about becoming discerning. Let's ground this idea of drama friends in some credible psychology, because this behaviour isn't random. And I must stress at this point, I'm not claiming to be a psychologist, because I'm not. This is based on research I've done in putting this episode together. Okay, so first of all, there is the chronic victim mindset. Psychologists refer to something called victim identity or victim mentality. And according to research published in Personality and Individual Differences, people with a strong victim mindset see themselves as perpetually wronged, externalize blame, feel morally superior due to their suffering, resist solutions because victimhood has become part of their identity. So solving the problem would mean losing the role, and unconsciously that role gives them attention, sympathy, and a sense of meaning. Secondly, we have the drama triangle. Psychiatrist Stephen Karpman introduced what's known as the drama triangle. Imagine a triangle, and at each point you have victim, rescuer, persecutor. Drama friends almost always position themselves as the victim, with someone or something always making things difficult for them, the persecutor. And without realising, you get pulled into the rescuer role, giving advice, offering reassurance, trying to fix. But here's the catch. Rescuing keeps the cycle alive, because if they actually changed, there would be no drama. And as we've established, the victim status gives them attention, sympathy, and a sense of meaning. Thirdly, there's the emotional validation without accountability. Psychologist Dr. Harriet Lerner, who has written extensively about women and relationships, explains that some people confuse being heard with being validated and therefore never change. Drama friends want their feelings acknowledged, their version affirmed. They do not want perspective, responsibility, or growth. So every "yeah, but" is a defense mechanism. It's a "I'm not going to change my approach or view of the difficult situation I am in." Knowing all of this, why do we, the friends, stay longer than we should? Let's be honest, especially for women over 50, many of us were socialised to be patient, be kind, be understanding, be the good listener. We were taught that walking away is cruel, not conscious. And there's often history too. She's been my friend for 30 years. But let's be real, longevity alone doesn't make a friendship healthy. A relationship that once fit your life doesn't automatically deserve a lifetime contract. Friendships, like many things, have their seasons. So how can I tell if I'm dealing with a drama friend? Here are some of the telltale signs. Conversations are often one-sided and repetitive. They never ask about you, or if they do, the topic quickly digresses to them. Or you've heard the same thing so many times before, but just relayed in a slightly different way. Your advice is consistently dismissed. And it's not that you're claiming to be a life coach, counsellor, or therapist, but they just don't want to hear it, as it's a potential solution. And solutions could mean no more drama, heaven forbid. You feel emotionally responsible for their mood. For some reason, they have made you feel that you are responsible for making them feel better, reassured, on their side. Exhausting. There is no curiosity about your life. They never ask you about you, ever. They resist any suggestion of change. Like the advice, if they make any changes that could improve their situation, then they are no longer the victim and then there's no drama. You feel relief when they cancel, when you don't have to see them as planned. You're not disappointed and you feel so much lighter. And this particularly matters because feeling relief is information. It's telling you something. So, what can you do without guilt or cruelty? And this is not about confrontation or cutting people off dramatically. This is about recalibration. Well, you can start by stop rescuing. The moment you stop offering solutions, something interesting happens. Try responding with, "That sounds really hard," or "I can hear how upset you are." And then stop. No fixing, no strategizing, nothing. This removes your role in the drama triangle. You are no longer the rescuer. Set gentle limits. You might say, "I don't have the energy to go into this today." Or, "I care about you, but I can't keep revisiting the same issue." Sometimes you just need to be direct. Boundaries are not punishments. They are self-preservation and provides clarity for you and them. Shorten exposure. You don't need to disappear. I mean, you can if you want to, but maybe talk less frequently. Keep conversations lighter, shorter. Change the subject intentionally. Distance doesn't require an explanation. You're holding on to and protecting your peace. Release the fantasy, and this is really important. Many of us stay and continue to listen to the same old drama because we hope one day she'll finally hear me. Well, come on, seriously. If she hasn't listened after years of loving input, the day is unlikely to arrive. Letting go of that hope and fantasy releases you from the cycle and gives you freedom. Here's a reframe that will help soften the guilt you may feel by stepping back. Drama friends are often emotionally stuck, not malicious. But empathy does not require self-sacrifice. You are allowed to choose peace over chaos, growth over stagnation, mutuality over exhaustion, especially now. This matters so much after 50 because at this stage of life, it's not about shrinking your circle, it's about refining it. Your energy is so precious, your time is finite, your nervous system deserves calm. The friendships that carry you forward are the ones where there is curiosity, not just crisis. Support flows both ways. Growth is welcome. And yes, laughter returns. If you're realising that someone in your life fits the drama friend description, being aware of that is not betrayal. You're not being too sensitive. You're not being selfish. You're evolving, and evolving sometimes means choosing relationships that meet you where you are now, not where you used to be. Thank you for listening to Voice After 50. If this episode resonated, take a moment to sit with it and reflect. No big decisions are necessary, just honesty. And maybe a little extra space to breathe. Until next time, talk soon. If you enjoyed this episode, don't forget to subscribe and follow the podcast so you never miss an update. Also, follow and join me on Instagram at VoiceAfter50 and Facebook, where we can continue these conversations, share reflections, and support each other through all the twists and turns life after 50 brings. A quick note. The content of this and all podcast episodes is for general information and entertainment purposes only. It's not professional advice, counselling or therapy. Please consult a qualified professional for any personal, medical or psychological concerns.